For this week, Module 6 assignment, it is late. My name is Alyssa Davis, and this is my video submission. I do have to record it on my phone and then upload it to my computer because my webcam is not working at the moment on my laptop. Now, the first question is, how does research on life conditions that accelerate telomere shortening illustrate the joint influence of hereditary and environmental biological aging? Now, research has been done on different life conditions that speed up the transformation of the cells within the body. This increases a patient's chance of cancer due to the telomere shortening. Now, research will show that genetics greatly affect the function of an organ within a patient. Now, this can alter their lifespan and their inner aging process greatly. Now, for the second question, we were asked, why are people in committed relationships likely to be more sexually active and satisfied than those who are dating several partners? Now, in many cases, it is often that a couple who is in a committed relationship and in love with one another are likely to have a more active and involved sexual relationship with one another. This typically can stem from them having a higher sex drive in general, but it really does truly stem from the couple knowing how to please one another. They want to be close with one another and intimate with one another in that intimate way. Now, individuals who are not in committed relationships are not as likely to partake in as many sexual encounters due to the intimidation that the dating scene has. They also worry that they won't enjoy it as well, and when you're not in love with someone, it can potentially feel as if it's work rather than something enjoyable for you to experience. Now, the third question was actually split up into two questions. So the first part of the third question is, how does expertise affect information processing? Now, by having expertise in something, it'll actually cause the brain to have an individualized thought process. So if you were to hear something that included something you're an expert in, your brain's going to actually flag that, and you're going to hang on to that, and that's going to be what you pay attention to the most. That's the topic that stands out to you, and that's what your brain listens for, because that's something that you are very confident and very knowledgeable in. Now, expertise is necessary for, but not the same as creativity in a way that innovation is. Now, the reason that innovation requires creativity and expertise, and they're not the same thing, is because innovation requires you to be creative with something. You have to come up with something new. However, there's a lot of problems that come with being innovative. And I'm sorry, I had to think of that word. And so with the innovation problems, you have to know how to problem solve. And so that's where expertise comes in. Now the fourth question is, what student and college environmental characteristics contribute to favorable psychological changes during the year? Now, during college years, it is common for students to have many changes within themselves, including psychological changes. First, it is important to note that one huge influencer on how a student adapts to their time at college is the level of safety. Now, this can be how they feel physically how they feel. So if they feel safe being in that area, if they feel safe being in that school, if they feel as if the staff is there to protect them. But another big one is if they just feel safe in the program or the classes that they're in. If they're questioning if they're going to be successful, if they're going to make it through the class, oftentimes that can cause them to not have favorable psychological changes. So it is important that they do get essentially graded and praised on when they do well. Now, another one is when a student has the ability to partake in their hobbies that bring them joy. So it's important that they're in a program that they are passionate about, that they want to be in, because it really can change their entire mindset. Now, if a student is overworked with their studies, they're likely to not have positive changes with their mindset, and it can result into negative. So it is important that they have a good balance with the two. And lastly, another big player in these changes would be their ability to access educational help when needed. Now, if the student does not feel as if they're able to obtain help when needed, this can result in changes occurring that are not helpful towards their education. But if teachers ensure that they are available for them, this can cause positive changes to occur. Now, what cultural changes have led to the emergence of the period knowing as the emerging adulthood? Now, there have been a lot of changes within society that have caused for a period known as the emerging adulthood. It has become a little bit more of an intense time in one life, but not as early on as it was in the past. So, for example, this could be due to a lot more entry levels now requiring more advanced education. They're no longer accepting the bare minimum. So, what that means is like McDonald's is no longer accepting no diploma high school dropouts. They are requiring that anyone over the age of over, I believe it's 19 to the age of the age that you would be at a typical graduation, you have to present a type of GED or diploma to require or to obtain employment from them. Now, in today's society as well, more parents are able to afford to support their children. So because of this, they're able to support their kids for longer periods of time, and they're not having to worry about sending them off to work to pay bills or things like that. So it's actually the complete opposite of what was done in history. Now, lastly, according to Levinson, how does the life structure of men and women differ? So, when looking at the Levinson structure, it is believed that women have a split dream. Now, this includes half of it being career driven. They do want to have that positive, successful career in their life, but they also want a happy, healthy marriage and family, and that is extremely important to them. So, oftentimes, this leaves women worrying about a happy, healthy life, family, and marriage. And then later in life, they actually work on getting that successful education. Now, it is the opposite for men. They actually believe that men only have one set vision, so they either want the healthy career or the successful career, or they want the happy, healthy relationship. They don't want to split the two. So this will mean that they're either going for one or the other, and they oftentimes will go for the opposite one later in life. So if they were to worry about the relationship early on, they'll go for the career later on, or if they go to the career early on, they'll worry about finding a positive relationship and settling down later on in life.